Superbru round 3 predictions, and looking at some of the games this round, there's a lot of banana skins here, and I think this will start to split people in terms of number of correct predictions, and I'm not expecting to do as well as I have, well, relatively, in the first 2 rounds. Like each round I've gotten 7 from 8, but this time I think I'll be happy if I can get more than half of these predictions right. So first one we have up is Italy versus Uruguay on Wednesday. So Uruguay did really well against France, but I think Italy are going to win this one, so I'm backing them. Next time we have France versus Namibia. So France, they had that tough outing against Uruguay. I think here they're going to redeem themselves, and it's going to be a comfortable victory for France in that one. Next time we have Argentina versus Samoa. So this is a tough one to predict because, you know, Argentina, weren't great in that opening game against England. They were against 14 players. They couldn't find a way to win. They looked very toothless in attack as well. But Argentina, they're the kind of team now where after a result like that, they can bounce back and give you a good performance. The problem they have is that if they do, put in a good performance in this game, they find it really hard then the next week to actually back it up. They almost have to be motivated by defeat or by being written off. And that can be difficult for a team, but it could be beneficial for them. Here, Samoa, they won their first game, so they're going to be on a high after that win against Chile. So this another tight one to call here, and I haven't even made my mind up before I made the video, but I'm backing Argentina. I just decided I'm backing Argentina because I think that bounce will help them and they get in there. But I'd love to see Samoa win because I want to see them in the mix to make it to the quarterfinals, because I genuinely think that, other than England in that pool, any of the other teams have a chance of making that quarterfinal. So, but yeah, I'm backing Argentina. I might be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but head is saying go Argentina. Okay, next we have Georgia versus Portugal. So Portugal did so well against Wales, and Georgia, didn't really offer that much against Australia. We know that they've kind of moved away from being forward dominated, and they've gone more to spreading around the backs. But we didn't see anything from either category really against Australia, and that kind of makes you a little bit worried for them. And Portugal must be licking their lips, thinking like, this is our game. This is where we win a game in the Rugby World Cup. But I'm going to back Georgia in this one. I think Georgia will just have that little bit too much. I think they'll, in terms of game management, I think that's where Georgia will win it. When, two teams of kind of, it's a repeat as well, right, of the final of the European, whatever, the second tier below the Six Nations. These two are in the final. Georgia actually, Georgia won that one. I thought, having seen highlights in some of the games in the build-up, that Portugal would have given them a sterner match, but in that competition, it seems Georgia just reigned supreme. But this is Rugby World Cup. Portugal are going to be absolutely, revving to go for this one. But I still think I'm backing Georgia for this. And I need to remember, because when I've finished this video, I need to pick my picks, because otherwise I'll start second guessing myself and I pick the wrong things. Next then we have England versus Chile. England, they're through to the quarterfinal. Anyone who thinks they're not is, I don't know what rugby you're watching, because they've beaten their two biggest rivals for that quarterfinal spot. They still have, after this Chile game, they still have Samoa to play, but even an upset against Samoa, I think they've built up enough in the first 3 games, well, after this one, that they're in the quarterfinals. So this one is actually one of the easier picks of this round. I hope Chile give them a game, because, you know, Chile have been exciting. They brought that kind of, it's almost like, you know, when you discover something and it's a joy of showing that something that you've known for ages to somebody who's seeing it for the first time. Like getting someone to watch rugby for the first time, you know, not really knowing what the game is all about, and having them get really excited about it. That's the way Chile are in this World Cup. You know, they're bringing that excitement of just a newness for them. And it really is a breath of fresh air to see these players. But I still think England are going to win this one. Then the last 2. So, you know, but this one, Scotland versus Ireland, this is the absolute, probably the most difficult prediction I'm going to have to make throughout this entire Rugby World Cup, because look at the rankings, there's like, you know, it's paper thin between these two. You know, a couple of points here, a couple of points there, and South Africa could easily be world number 1 right now. That's how close these two teams are. South Africa, really impressive in that victory over Scotland. Just the control and the fact that, you know, it was almost like, you know, when you were at school, an older kid just putting his hand on the head of you know, like a first year or something, and just stopping him from getting any closer to him. That's the way it was. They just held them there at arm's length throughout the game, and you just felt like they could do that all day. And then they change, you know, pretty much their entire team, and they put up a huge score against Romania. Ireland, you know, we haven't seen them really tested in this World Cup yet. Big win against Romania to start with, although Romania did have a decent start, and then against Tonga as well, came through that game, you know, really well. Ireland have been going strength in terms of their choices. They're going pretty much full strength. Few changes here and there, but still picking pretty much close enough to the first team. So different approaches from the two teams coming in to this, and, you know, we're going to see who got it right. Did South Africa was South Africa giving their front line a week off the best thing to do, or are the Irish guys going to be tired that they have to back up, you know, week after week after week? But I'm kind of stalling here. I won't get to the prediction. It's honestly, it's a hair's breadth in this one, but I'm Irish and I've got to back Ireland. Like if Ireland won it and I backed South Africa, I don't think I could live with myself. But if I back Ireland and South Africa win, you know, I can just say pretty much fair play to them, because we know that these two teams are going to give it their all, and the better team on the day is going to win. So if that's South Africa, again, fair play to them, but I'm backing Ireland for this. Now, on to the last one here. Oh, sorry, no, we've actually got 2 more to go. I didn't see the Wales-Australia one at the bottom there. Okay, so the last one from Pool B, I guess. Scotland versus Tonga. So Scotland, they won't be happy with their performance against South Africa in the opening weekend. They've had since then to prepare for this one. I think that's going to be crucial, because coming off the back of that and then bouncing into Tonga the week after might have been, you know, a potential banana skin for them. Tonga, they showed against Ireland that there is the core of a decent performance there in them. You can see it. And I think they're going to make Scotland definitely work for the win, but we're going to see more of the flair from Scotland. We're going to see, I think, Finn Russell at his mercurial best. He's probably going to throw an intercept try, but he's also probably going to create 2 or 3 tries for his own team. And that's why I'm going to back Scotland for that one. Okay, final one then. Wales versus Australia. So 2 teams have been really hard to judge in this. Like Wales have gone 2 from 2, but they get that win over Fiji, which, given what Fiji did after, like this weekend gone, puts that in a whole new context. But then they really struggled against Portugal. And then Australia started off against Georgia with kind of a pretty comfortable win, and then that defeat to Fiji coming after it. So it makes it really difficult between these two to pick a winner. But so we've got to go on something that, I feel is a bit of a trend between these two teams. And it's that so often I've seen where even when Wales have had a better team, or even been the better team on the day, or just played better overall, Australia have this thing of just being able to beat them, like by the slightest margin, by a score, a converted try, or wherever. Just being able to get that, get that little bit ahead, or to score right at the death to win the game. And given that, even though it's completely different players from Australia, pretty much, I still think, that they're going to have that over this Wales team, and therefore I'm going to go for Australia with that one. Okay, so that's the predictions for week 3. Let me know what you think, what's going to happen in the games, because there's some massive games this weekend, no more so than South Africa versus Ireland. That's, for me, that's the biggest game. France, New Zealand was the big opener, but this is the big game that, since we knew who was in what pool, that I've been looking forward to, and I think that both of these nations have been looking forward to as well. So let me know what your predictions are, and we'll see how we all go when the results actually come later in the week.